Have you ever wanted to visit a location in the Star Wars universe, wield a lightsaber, travel alongside your trusty astromech, and avoid detection from the evil governing body of the galaxy so far, far away? Well, now you can. With the 14-acre edition of Galaxy's Edge at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, and Disneyland in Anaheim, California, you can enter a Star Wars story. The story can be what your imagination brings, or you can trek through the streets of the Black Spire outpost on Batuu as the story unfolds before you. But there are some misconceptions about the largest expansion in Disney Parks history. Today on Star Wars Fanatic. If you like Star Wars and enjoy watching videos about the galaxy far, far away, go on and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date on all my Star Wars content. Also, show that like button that it can join you to rule the galaxy as father and son by lighting it up. I had booked my trip to Walt Disney World 2 times over the last year and had to reschedule both trips due to the pandemic. The third scheduling was a winner, and I and my family were finally on our way. I have not read the Galaxy's Edge novels, but knew of their existence, and I even own them. It is on my to-do list, though. The reason I didn't read them beforehand? Well, I wanted to see it in person, and didn't want my imagination to subvert what was actually there. Beforehand, we had to schedule which parks we would visit on which days, months in advance. The pandemic has caused some changes to how many people can enter a park on any given day. Done. So, naturally, being a crazed Star Wars fan, I wanted to see Hollywood Studios first. That's where Batuu is, and that's where Star Wars is. When we arrived at Hollywood Studios, I searched the map for the fastest way to Batuu. As fast as our feet could carry us, we bypassed everything else the theme park had to offer. After all, we had an appointment to build droids in the afternoon, and there was so much to do before then. But there it was, the tunnel leading to the one place I could be a nerd without persecution. Walking through the tunnel, I could feel my inner Mandalorian coming out. I'm pretty sure I embarrassed my wife and kids with my geekery, though. At the end of the tunnel, I was there. Star Wars familiarity. And it wasn't long before we were having our photo taken in front of the most famous ship ever, the Millennium Falcon. Soon after, I was piloting the ship. Then we stopped in some shops to check out the locals hawking their wares. But I had to be frugal. I was there for a few things in particular. A lightsaber, a droid, and a holocron. The mission was a success. I got a lightsaber, a holocron, and the family and I built droids. The day passed so quickly. We finished the rest of the day enjoying the other attractions at Hollywood Studios, but there was this sense of something missing from the Star Wars experience. I remember seeing Kylo Ren, Rey, Stormtroopers, and Hondo Ohnaka, but where were the other Star Wars characters? The ones I grew up with, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, or even C-3PO. Well, I did some digging. I got online and looked at different Facebook groups to discover that a lot of fans were not going to be going to Disney to visit Batuu because of the lack of original trilogy and prequel trilogy characters. I too felt a bit disappointed at first. How could they do this? I wanted a picture with Boba Fett, the most feared bounty hunter ever to live. But as I searched more online, I realized something. This new edition was not meant to be all-encompassing. It started to make sense, and I stopped being so disappointed. This area was meant to be a scene or story from the novels I had neglected to read. I almost felt disgusted with myself for feeling so entitled. This Star Wars was meant to include me in the story. It was created to put me in as a character. I had to get back there, so I did just that. But many failed attempts made me realize I wouldn't be riding the Rise of the Resistance ride. Disappointed? Sure. But I had to come to terms with it. A stroke of luck, fate, will of the Force, whatever you want to call it, made it happen, though, and on my last visit to Batuu. And it really came together for me. I was in Star Wars. I wasn't just looking at a location, but I was part of it. When I got home from the trip, I thought about it, and I still do. It makes absolute sense to me as to why there were no characters outside the novels and stories. I was no longer disappointed. I felt fulfilled. I know a lot of Star Wars fans don't like the sequel trilogy. They don't like the stories of episodes 7 through 9. And their minds can't be changed. I get it. I even understand some of the criticisms. But this story was different. The story of Galaxy's Edge is set between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It is a side story, but to actually be in that story was so incredible. So, here's my review and some suggestions for others. From the time you walk into Galaxy's Edge, even the shop workers do not break character. When you pay for something, they give you the total in credits. When you eat something, it is named after something you may find in Star Wars. When you are addressed by a character, you are treated as either the First Order or the Resistance. The park does everything it can to be Star Wars just for us. Now, whether you like the sequel trilogy or you hate it, you don't have to worry about J.J. Abrams nor Rian Johnson. This isn't their stories. This is the story of the authors of the novels. Enjoy it. The lack of characters from the other two trilogies was a bit unsettling at first, but you quickly lose yourself in the experience and the location. I mean, when is the last time you stood next to the Millennium Falcon or even piloted it? You can do that in Disney, and to me, the Millennium Falcon is a timeless character. In fact, with everything there is to do there, the characters are even secondary to your experiences. But to throw characters not in this specific story into the park would have obscured what Disney is trying to accomplish, and that is to immerse you in the story. It's like going to a Lord of the Rings theme park and having the dwarves from The Hobbit show up. Doesn't make sense. By the end of my 2 visits in Galaxy's Edge, I had rode the Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon ride, the Rise of the Resistance, had drinks at Oga's Cantina, bought the Darksaber, bought Rey's lightsaber, the yellow one, built my own droid that I named R606, nicknamed Bob, and spent way more money than I would normally have on merchandise for anything. I left Galaxy's Edge satisfied. Not just satisfied, but wanting more. More expansion, more merch, more of the story. Just more of it all. In the park, I was a child again in 1977, but this time living a dream I never thought would happen. I was in Star Wars. The entire park is full of so much detail. I've never taken pictures of so many walls in my entire life. So, if you are having reservations about going to Galaxy's Edge, just do it. I talked with several people there. Most of them hated the sequel trilogy, but all of them loved Galaxy's Edge. It was a place for fans to unite without the negativity and drama surrounding some of the new Star Wars content. It was a place for fans to come together and say yub nub as we clicked our glasses together and smiled. I do get a lot of the Disney criticisms. They only care about money, they don't care about the fandom. But when you go to Galaxy's Edge, you see they care about your happiness and the fandom. They care that you have the best experience in a galaxy far, far away that you could possibly have. Is it because they want you to come back to spend more money? Probably. But I want to go back and spend more of my money. When you go, tell Chewbacca that Star Wars FANATIC sent you. He'll know what you're talking about. Thank you for watching. I hope this video has cleared up some of the misconceptions of the park for you. Have you already been, or are you planning to go? Or do you have no interest at all? Let me know in the comments below. I love chatting with you guys. And if you just love Star Wars, go on and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date on all my Star Wars content and discussions. Also, treat the like button as if you have road rage on Coruscant and light it up. Again, thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way. The only way.